Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for being here. I'd like to take this time to officially introduce myself to everybody. My name is Lukhanya Kalata. I am a news reporter. I'm in the last days of working for ETV. I'll be changing jobs within a few days' time. I have been invited here tonight to come and facilitate a discussion on leadership and good leadership with the Premier, Ebrahim Rasool. Welcome, sir. And,
thanks very much.
Thanks very much.
Is this working?
Yeah, it is working.
Yeah.
I mentioned earlier on that obviously we've got about an hour where you and I are supposed to discuss leadership. We know, or at least I know, what the Oxford Dictionary describes as a good leader. What, according to Ebrahim Rasool, is a good leader?
Sure. That's a quick entry. You know how I am.
Let's jump straight into it.
Yeah, but let me just greet you. They deceived me. They told me he's wearing a suit and a tie. And look how he looks tonight. So I'm all dressed up with nowhere to go. But I think that that the issue of leadership is an absolutely critical issue in the world today, and certainly I think in South Africa it's been the focus of much discussion, and I think unfortunately sometimes it's discussed a lot more in the context of personalities. People try to discuss the issue of leadership much more based on whether this person or that person, and I think that it's almost as if the world needs to make preferences between people in order to get to a definition of leadership. And I think that what is useful about tonight's session is that probably we can reverse a little bit and see if we can arrive at people through a discussion on leadership. And so I think in the world that we're living in today, we probably have a situation where the world is fundamentally different. I think that we all are familiar with what that initial agrarian revolution was about, when the world changed from a serfdom-based economy, a feudal economy, from a slave-based economy to a feudal economy. I think we're all familiar with the Industrial Revolution, where the world underwent a major change from a feudal economy to an industrial economy. And I think that we're probably all quite privileged to be living through another of those epochal revolutions that's taking place, not the small national revolutions or whatever the case may be, but an epochal revolution where the world is undergoing an information revolution from an industrial society to a knowledge-based society to an information-based society. And it's within those epochs that I think that one must locate a definition of leadership. Who's able to understand what the world has been and what the world ought to become, and how does one manage that transition? How do we give leadership in such a way that you guide people with optimism towards the best that new revolution may bring, and make people cautious about the unintended consequences that go with it. And I think that that in broad terms is it. And sometimes leadership has to see around corners. Before your eyes can see it, you've got to try and anticipate what's around the corner. And that really is where I think leadership often fails. If you can only see what's down the road, that may be great for a small set of objectives. But the leadership that the country needs, the leadership that the world requires, is a leadership that can see down the road but anticipate what's around the corner. And so the key to it is, how do you take people along with you? How do you maintain enough optimism to give hope for what's around the corner, but have enough caution so that you don't lead your troops into an ambush? And some of those kind of things, I think, are some of the ways in which leadership must manifest itself in this epochal revolution that I think we're going through in the world.